We just saw, obviously, Arsenal take apart a sporting team made in his image. Will Amarim have taken note of that one?
He'll certainly been watching. A 5-1 victory for Arsenal at Sporting last week. It ended in an 18-match unbeaten home run for Sporting at their home stadium, which just shows what a legacy he built at Sporting over the course of his time there after joining from Braga. He did a brilliant job at Sporting. One thing he'd have noticed, which everyone's noticing right now, is that chemistry between Saka and Ødegaard. And Mikel Arteta spoke about that yesterday. He's challenged those players to build up that unbelievable chemistry to the level we saw at Barcelona with Iniesta, Xavi and Busquets, which is some way to go. But what they've done on the pitch, I think around 50% of Arsenal's chances since Ødegaard has been back has been on that right flank. A lot of those chances created by the two of them combining with one another. They seem to have that chemistry when it comes to who's going to take the penalty as well, because they both got one the weekend. They sort of shielded the pressure from the opposition players by holding the ball, and then just that minute before the kick in the ball, they hand it to each other. So that seems to be a real nice bond they have between one another on and off the pitch. And in terms of United, we mentioned that Ruben Amorim's come in and he's stuck with what he knows in terms of that formation. Three defenders, 2 just in front, and then 4 and 1 up front. So that is what we got. 3-4-2-1. That is what we're going to get very much used to. So that's the team he picked at the weekend. It's getting very difficult to work out who's going to start matches for Manchester United, but you're already starting to learn which players he's trusting. I think what's really important to note is Erik ten Hag would have wished he had all these players available, because that's the strongest bench United have had for a couple of years, you'd think, with all those players fit. Unfortunately, Luke Shaw has now suffered an injury. He'll be out for a few weeks, which is a real blow for him after coming back. After making his first appearance of the season for United against Ipswich, his previous appearance for United was February. He played for England during the Euros, but that's how long he's missed for Manchester United. So a real blow for him. He's as frustrated as anybody. But we're learning that Mazraoui is probably going to be that right centre-back. Diallo looks like he's going to get the nod at right wing-back. The issue that Ruben Amorim has this evening is that he's without Martinez, he's without Mainu. Now, one player who could make his debut for Manchester United tonight is Lenny Yoro. I think it's unlikely he'll start from the off against Arsenal, but you'd think that maybe Harry Maguire, who came off the bench at the weekend, may slot in there. And in terms of Kobbie Mainoo, you'd think that Manuel Ugarte, who played under Amorim at Sporting, will get the opportunity. It's whether it's going to be Xerxes or it's going to be Højlund. The good news is Rashford is back in with the goals, and that is really encouraging, because at Manchester United, when he goes on a run, he tends to score a few goals. So United will be hoping they can upset the odds against Arsenal, who look like they're in superb form right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Chelsea could go second if Arsenal slip up. Let's have a look at this. And they beat Southampton. Have Chelsea shown they're the real deal now? What do we think of who's doing what at the top? And it's changing all the time, of course. Yeah,
Chelsea joint second in the Premier League right now, up to 25 points. They've achieved that in 6 games fewer than they did at the start of last season under Mauricio Pochettino. It just shows how quickly Enzo Maresca has managed to get a tune out of this team. And let's bear in mind, he's had to deal with a number of off-field issues. He's had a bloated squad, and he's selected the players that he wants. The likes of Raheem Sterling banished, Ben Chilwell not featuring either. But he's got this midweek team, he's got this weekend team in the Premier League, and the weekend team and the midweek team are delivering in Europe and domestically as well. And I think that's a really encouraging start, you'd say, under Enzo Maresca. The fact 21 points since match day 3, that's after that draw against Crystal Palace at the start of September. So they're right in the hunt, you'd say, for Champions League football. But Enzo Maresca was speaking about how Chelsea probably exceeded expectations of what he thought that he'd get from this Chelsea side since joining the club from Leicester. But he doesn't quite seem as confident about their hopes in this title race.
To be in the title race is nice pressure for me and for the players. It's not that kind of pressure that you don't like. It's that kind of pressure that you like because you are in the title race. But it's not our case. And the reason why I said, because Arsenal, in the last 2 years, they were very, very, very close to City, Liverpool. They have been there, and we were not there. And as I said, hopefully soon we can be there.